Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at Thrustmaster's T598 bundle and their Hypercar wheel. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So I'll be taking a closer look at the T598 bundle. Together we've taken a look at the Hypercar add-on wheel, testing them out to see how they perform on my PS5 Pro, giving you my pros and cons to give you a better idea if it's worth getting or not. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. First, let's take a look at what you get inside the box. You get some documentation, the sports car wheel rim, the T598 Servo Base, a box containing springs and buffers for the pedals, some table clamps, carpet grippers, a bag containing a wrench and screws, and some clamps. In the other box you get a pedal set cable, a USB-A to USB-C cable, a UK power plug, and a power adapter. Underneath here you have the desk mount and the pedals. Taking a closer look at the T598 Servo wheelbase, it's compact with a unique 8-sided octagon shape, weighing 4.7 kilograms. I've added the dimensions on the screen to give you a better idea of the size. You have the Thrustmaster logo at the top with 4 buttons, which includes a settings button, L3 and R3 buttons, together with a mode button. In the middle you have an LCD display, which they call the race dash screen, and this displays the in-game telemetry data, and this is where you can adjust and save settings using the screen. It has air vents at the front with a mounting point for a wheel rim in the middle. On the back it has the Thrustmaster logo in the middle, and you have the ports at the bottom, which consists of a USB-C port, an RJ45 port, an RJ12 port for the pedals, a mini DIN port for the Thrustmaster shifter or handbrake, a power input port, and an on-off button. The wheel's compatible with a PS5, PS4 and a PC. Onto the sports car wheel rim. It has an 11.8 inch diameter, weighing just 811 grams, with 4 red metal strips around the wheel. You've got perforated rubber grips on the side with smooth plastic on the top and bottom. In the middle you have the Thrustmaster logo in white with a plastic build and a fake carbon fiber weave pattern on the faceplate. There's a number of controls around the faceplate consisting of the L2 and R2 buttons, the PlayStation X, circle, triangle and square, the D-pad on the left and an encoder selector on the right. At the bottom of the faceplate you have the PlayStation button, in the middle a share button and an options button. At the back you have a mounting point with magnetic paddle shifters. I was a bit surprised about the wheel as it feels very light with a plastic and rubber, feeling quite cheap. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs when racing. Onto the raceline pedals. This comes flat packed and attached to the pedal plate. You need to add the spring to the back of both the brake and accelerator pedals, which is quite simple to do. First add the stop rod to the back of the pedals, then add the buffer and the spring to the brake pedal, adding the washer between them. There's 2 different springs for the brake pedal depending on the resistance you want, and there's just 1 spring for the accelerator pedal, but you can adjust the amount of resistance you want for each pedal, as there's 3 notches for the level of resistance you want. The further out you move the buffer, you'll see a reduction in resistance. The accelerator pedal has a taller faceplate, whereas the brake pedal is slightly wider, and they both use Hall effect sensors. You can adjust the height of the pedals and bring them closer together, plus you can attach them to a sim rig, and as they come with carpet grippers, these give additional support. In terms of upgrades, there'll be a pedal upgrade kit coming soon, which will allow you to swap in a load cell brake pedal, but there's no clutch upgrade option. And I think this is intentional as the pedal plate is too small to attach an additional plate to. So if you wanted a 3 pedal set, you'd have to buy the Raceline Pedals 3. They look identical but have a larger pedal plate and obviously a clutch. Taking a look at the Hypercar wheel. Inside the box you get the Hypercar wheel, some documentation, some stickers, a bag containing precision tweezers and a wrench. Taking a closer look at the Hypercar wheel rim, it has an oval shaped design with a 12.6 inch diameter and it weighs around 1.4 kilograms. At the top you have a red center strip and some red stitching on the inner edges. It has quite a premium look and feel with leather perforated grips on the side and Alcantara on the top and bottom with a really nice feel to it. In the middle you have an aluminium faceplate with the Thrustmaster logo in the middle, with two LEDs that displays the in-game race information from the different colors. It has 25 action buttons, which includes 4 rotary encoders made from aluminium, a D-pad, and you have 2 multifunctional front analog triggers which can be configured with different functions. And you do this in-game. At the back you have magnetic shifters with a nice clicky sound to them, and in the middle you have the mounting point, which is compatible with the T598 system. To test this out, I've got the wheelbase and pedals attached to my sim racing seat, which is the Playseat Challenge X Logitech G Edition. The pedal mounts on the frame had to be flipped around to allow the pedals to be attached, but for the wheelbase none of the holes matched, so I ended up having to drill holes into the pedal plate, and that worked pretty well. My TV is the LG G4 OLED, and I'll be testing it on my PlayStation 5 Pro. First thing worth mentioning is that due to the size of the wheelbase on this frame, the wheel does feel a little bit higher, and as the frame is limited in adjustability, you can't really bring it down lower. So something to be aware of when choosing a wheel stand to go with this wheel. Jumping in and testing out Gran Turismo 7, and performance wise it didn't feel that strong, as by default the torque levels are turned down low, but you can adjust a variety of settings directly on the wheelbase, with it being quite convenient to do this. I adjusted the torque levels to maximum, and that helped a lot with the wheel and force feedback feeling much stronger. Thrustmasters say the wheel axle wheelbase is a step above direct drive technology, reducing issues like heat and cogging by managing heat better, improving efficiency and reducing any cogging. The direct axle provides more efficiency and should give a more realistic track feel. Having tested it for a number of hours, and I have to say it does feel very similar to a direct drive motor with no notchy feel, with it providing a consistent 5 Nm of torque. Testing in Gran Turismo 7, and you can feel the different terrain and details from the bumps, curbs and track itself, providing a good amount of immersion. You also get a gear jolt when you shift up or down, giving a nice vibration and feedback when racing. It's not on by default, but you can enable it via the settings on the wheelbase, with there being 3 selectable levels, so low, medium and high. The sports car wheel does feel good, with it holding up pretty well, and you don't get much flex from it, with the mounting point helping to keep it firmly in place. The paddle shifters on the back felt good, with precise shifting up and down, with the controls at the front being in easy reach. Overall the wheel does feel good, but has quite a budget feel to it. Moving on to the Hypercar wheel, which really does have a much more premium feel to it compared to the sports car wheel rim. The feel of the wheel rim is much better, together with the buttons, which are all ergonomically placed in easy reach, and paddle shifters having a more solid feel to them. It would have been great if the bundle came with this, but nevertheless a great wheel to get if you plan to upgrade at some point. Onto the pedals, and worth noting, if you didn't connect the cable from the wheelbase to the correct pedals, then it won't work correctly. In terms of racing with them, they generally worked well, with more of an entry-level feel to them. They felt okay underfoot, the accelerator retracts back well, but the brake pedal doesn't feel realistic as it works off the distance travelled and not the pressure applied. It's good that they have the adjuster at the back to adjust the tension on the pedals, but it's a shame it doesn't come with a load cell to give a more realistic braking experience, but nevertheless they work generally pretty well. App customization wise, there's no mobile app for Android or Apple, just a PC app available via the Microsoft Store called My Thrustmaster Panel. It has quite a simplistic interface showing the wheelbase and wheel. Looking in the T598 wheelbase, you get 4 tabs. Overview provides you with firmware information and serial numbers. Settings allows you to select your profile at the top, and the settings dialog allows you to adjust a variety of different settings ranging from power levels, inertia, friction and wheel damper, to name a few. Testing allows you to test the buttons on the wheel and pedals, together with allowing you to set the wheel center position. Link provides Thrustmaster's website and support page links. Onto the sports steering wheel, and you've got 2 tabs. The first one is the overview tab. You've got the firmware details, and the second is the links, again to Thrustmaster's website and support page links. And finally there's a firmware recovery option, allowing you to manually update a firmware if you encountered any issues The app is simple to use with quite an intuitive feel to it, together with it providing a good amount of customization, but not to the granular level that Mozza provides, but nevertheless it's pretty good. So in summary, Thrustmaster has done pretty well with their T598 wheelbase, providing a good amount of force feedback from the wheelbase, with it feeling just like a direct drive with no notchy feeling or cogging when racing. Due to its design, it's slightly larger than the majority of wheelbases, so something to be aware of if you're planning on getting a foldaway rig to use it with, as you'd want something with some height adjustability. The wheel worked well, but it did have a cheap feel to it due to plastic at the top and bottom of the rim. The pedals performed okay, but I felt it was a little bit limited as there's no clutch pedal upgrade option due to the smaller pedal plate size, but they will be introducing a load cell brake upgrade. Price wise, it's just under $500, and in terms of compatibility, it's PS5, PS4 and PC compatible, so pretty good for the price, as both Mozza and Fanatec don't have anything in that price range with that compatibility. If you owned an entry-level Logitech G29 and wanted a mid-level upgrade, then this bundle is definitely worth considering. So there you have it, you've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. For those of you who got to the end of this video, please leave a comment with T598, as it's awesome to see who's got to the end of my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on all my socials, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.